Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of Invest in You. And in this episode, we are talking about the OG, which is Cathie Wood's making a space ETF. Okay, we are going to the moon. We are talking about the new space frontier stocks that will benefit from a space industry, from space travel, and all things space. The OG, the GOAT, Cathie Wood's, which is making a space ETF with ARK, and there's a lot of speculation as to which stocks will be in it. So I'm going to be going over what stocks I think will be in the ETF, mainly 7 stocks and an 8th one which is a bit more far-fetched, or 2, and some honorable mentions. Let's go to Mars. Let's get into it. So when I talk about my 7 space stocks that I think might appear in Cathie Wood's ARK Invest Space ETF, or that are just general good plays for the space industry, please remember, read the disclaimer in the little thing at the bottom. I'm not a financial advisor, so don't take this as direct buy or sell or hold advice, okay? These are just stocks that I think you should go and research, look into, keep an eye on, and decide if you think, as I do, that they are valuable mentions in the space industry. Let's start with number 1, okay, which is Maxar Technology. All about communications, manufacturing of space equipment, and just all-round software development. It focuses a lot on Earth observation, radar tech, all those things. Maxar also manufactures robotic arms for NASA, okay, and the robotic arm on the new Mars rover lander that landed is from Maxar. It owns and operates Earth's largest imaging satellites. Then the second stock, which is kind of, if Starlink IPOs, I would rather go for Starlink, but it is Iridium. So Iridium for now, if Starlink IPOs, rather Starlink, okay? But what it is satellite communication, and it has barely any competition from other companies when it comes to the L-band spectrum. Then third play is obviously Virgin Galactic. Now they have been having some troubles when it came to actually launching their spacecraft and getting it done, from delays to the rocket not initiating and having to do a normal landing because the rocket didn't go off, and lots of things. So Virgin Galactic, great for the tourism part of space travel, because they are mainly doing low orbit travel, so not really space, but they focus mainly on like just above the stratosphere. So you can see it feels like you're in space, but you're not kind of in space. And they also have all of that development into the Concorde reboot and that supersonic flight travel. Also, a great thing about Virgin Galactic is they already have 600 prescribed flight tourist people that want to go, that have paid deposits to fly the tourist space travel thing. Okay, so just having 600 customers already pre-booked, they are making so much money. So now just think about if more of those very rich people decided to buy tickets for this. Very good company, because the tickets are expensive. They have 9,200 potential registered customers on top of those 600 that already paid deposits, and a ticket price is plus minus $250,000. Okay, so that is quite a lot of money. Okay, then number 4 is Trimble. Okay, TRMB. Now this is a company that is very much a competition for Autodesk. So what they do is they have a ton of software and just implementation management systems. So anything that requires designing, manufacturing, management, pre-planning, cost analysis, all those things, Trimble does, okay? They also implement BIM design, which is like 3D modeling. It's building information modeling, but dedicated towards space design. So, and Trimble focuses a lot like in the civil, the geospace industry, resources and utilities, and the transportation. And the nice thing about Trimble is they are focusing a lot on the space industry. They have guidance and monitoring systems, which we'll need when we get there. They have huge systems implementations for agricultural systems, for instance, which we'll need once we have to set up colonies and all those things there. So anything infotech related to systems, managing, designing it, that is Trimble. So we'll need their software, probably, unless SpaceX designs their own software for all these things, we'll need Trimble. Okay, so it's one of those plays that I think will definitely benefit from a space industry. So Trimble is a lot like, you probably more commonly know Honeywell, or you hear more about Honeywell. So Honeywell, sort of the same. So you can probably look at whatever you like more when it comes to the financials between Trimble and Honeywell. Honeywell has the advantage of also producing like the products and the equipment, and they sell it to OEMs. I like Trimble more just because I know I've used their programs before and I kind of know what they're doing. Then number 5 is Lockheed Martin. Now Lockheed Martin is more like military style, like aerospace and defense. They are the world's largest defense contractor. Lockheed, they for instance built the aeroshell, the heat shield of the Perseverance rover. So that thing that takes the brunt of the heat when it went into Mars and it like dropped down to the bottom, that they designed. Lockheed Martin is also quite a big AI play because they have a lot of focus into that industry. And they also have a lot of research into energy, especially energy storage, which we'll also need there, but also here on Earth. So it's like a good thing. And they design a lot, especially when it comes to helicopter designs and stuff like that, especially, well, just general like aeronautics or aerospace engineering. But yeah, you get what I'm going. So they're in space, they're over here, they do a lot of things, so it's very diversified. Then number 6. Now number 6 is Boeing. So I go through waves of loving Boeing and then being like, what are you doing? Okay, so Boeing is one of those companies that that fell to the trap of, I'm a good company, I'm amazing, and I don't really change or adapt, and then okay. So Boeing has been the biggest like contractor for NASA for years and years and years, and it's like they got a bit complacent, and then SpaceX came along and just gave them a knuckle, and Boeing started having cost overruns issues. They had just a lot of stuff, I mean, with the planes and the stuff. Yeah, it's so Boeing, great play because they are very skilled in spaceship design and all those things. Boeing has a joint partnership with Lockheed Martin, which is that United Launch Alliance agreement. They built, for instance, the Delta IV and the Atlas V rockets. They built for NASA. They also built the ISS's infrastructure when it came to the gateway. They've got global positioning systems that they work on. And then the big issue with Boeing at the moment, I feel, and that would make or break my decision on Boeing, but I need to mention Boeing because they are a big player in this. But this one thing will determine if they remain a big player in the space industry, and that is their Starliner 2.0 launch. Okay, so Starliner 1, they've tried to launch, and there was a bit of miscommunication, or a miscalibration of the internal time controller in the spaceship, and then that led to the pre-launch pretty much of the Starliner capsule. And what evidently happened was it didn't reach its orbit to actually make contact with the ISS, so it pretty much just missed it. Okay, so they say that they fixed that, and they obviously have to like prove that it's safe before putting astronauts in it. So they're planning on relaunching Starliner sometime in 2021. Okay, so for me personally, if that misses, then I'm out. Okay, if that doesn't miss, then there's hope. Okay, and then they can probably fix their stuff. Then there is number 7, Stock 7, which is Aerojet Rocketdyne, and they are a rocket manufacturing company. Now, obviously, I'd love for SpaceX to just go public, and then they pretty much do most of what these companies do from manufacturing and whatnot. But I don't see SpaceX becoming a public company until we are actually on Mars, I think. And amazingly, they have no net debt, which is amazing for any company, okay? Especially if you're building rockets, okay? Because that is quite expensive. Okay, then there is a sneaky stock number 8. Okay, now this is more like a very far-fetched, but so this is more if you have a lot of time and you want to play on it. I mean, obviously this stock does well right now and it's evident here, but I feel that when we are in space, one of the big issues of being in space is getting resources there. So obviously it's going to be way too expensive to send resources up from Earth to there. So one of the areas that they're looking at is mining out in space, mainly mining asteroids, because asteroids are rich lumps of rock of great materials that we need. There's a lot of studies that show that like one little piece of asteroid is literally the equivalent worth of like trillions and trillions worth of dollars of minerals. So we'll need miners in space because it's just easier to get it there and then move it to Mars or Moon, wherever we are, than trying to get it out of our atmosphere. Okay, so I think Rio Tinto is one of the good companies positioned for actually doing something like that, because Rio Tinto has been the front runner in automating mining services. And when we get to space, obviously automation in space is ideal because less humans, meaning less expense, less danger, less just everything. But Rio Tinto, or pretty much probably any good mining company like probably BHP, Billiton, companies like that. But I just think that Rio Tinto, what they've done in Australia in their automation of their mines, they are perfectly equipped for that mining industry in space. So read up on that a bit. I mean, it is a bit far-fetched because we don't know what space is going to be doing, but I think that is probably a good tip. Honorable mention to Rocket Lab. So they are not public yet. They are planning on going public via SPAC through Vector Acquisition Corp, is the SPAC name. So I've mainly focused on companies that are public right now, even though they are SPACing soon. The only issue I have with Rocket Lab is they manufacture their rockets out of carbon fiber. So for those that don't know, carbon fiber, when you manufacture these rockets, you have a lot of offcuts or a lot of extra like material that in the end needs to get rid of. And also carbon fiber needs to be able to withstand great heat and great colds. And that's a lot of the times the reason why they use it, and also a lot of the times the reason why they don't use it. But the main thing is, from what I understand, I think carbon fiber will be a lot more expensive than using aluminum like they're using on the Starship, for instance, just because aluminum, you don't have all those offcuts and you can reuse the material. Carbon fiber is not a reusable material. Once you cut it, once you cast it and you cut it, those offcuts are offcuts. I mean, you can probably chop them up and put them into concrete or something, but you can't just melt it down again and use it. So that's my issue with carbon fiber. It's very expensive, all the composites that have to go in it, the offcuts. So I just can't see that being cheaper than. But in any case, they are one of the first companies to have 3D printed the engine nozzle or the rocket nozzle. So yeah, they are very good. So they can probably get a lot of things right. So keep an eye on them. And then obviously look at SpaceX, like obviously, but they are not public until we hit Mars probably. So okay, but that is pretty much my 8. No, I mentioned 9. 8 stocks that are good for the space industry. Okay, so hopefully I at least get one of these stocks in Cathie Wood's ARK Space ETF, and then I'm not too bad. But hopefully all of them are in there, which would be amazing. But yeah, so it is definitely one of the big industries that are coming up in our future, especially if you're still young, because it's gonna be your future. It's probably gonna be like, read up a bit about the rail industry boom. It was like the boomers thing. The boomers loved their rail industry, okay? It was a big thing for them. So now space is out. Space is gonna be the next big thing, especially because it incorporates infrastructure, tech, AI, all these stuff. And it's just, there's so many stocks that can benefit from it. You just need to pick the main winners, okay? So hope this helps. If you guys have any other stocks that you think will probably be in Cathie Wood's Ark Space ETF, pop them down in the comments box. And I hope I sparked some interest. Go look at these companies, go dig into their financials, the fundamentals, and see if you want to buy or sell or hold or just ignore them. I mean, it is up to you. Okay, so, but thank you very much for watching. Hit like, subscribe if you liked it, and I hoped Cool. Bye.